So we have to determine, okay, if we've got a PST, then we factor. All right? Excellent. Now, so now I'm going to give you the criteria. So, here. Okay, so we're going to start off with that PST that we had with that trinomial, and we're going to test it. All right? So, x squared plus 14x plus 49. All right, so now I'm going to tell you the steps in the test to determine if this is a PST and then whether we can factor it as such. Yes, Allie?
And if it's not a PST?
Okay, get to that in a second. Okay, so guys, the first thing is you test the first term and you ask yourself, is that a perfect square? Is x squared a perfect square?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, question mark, and then we just checked it, yes. Then you check the last term, if it's a perfect square. Now the last term and every term involves the sign in front of it, all right? So I have to check the plus 49. Is that plus 49 a perfect square?
Yes.
Yes.
So 1 over 7x squared would not be a perfect square.
No. Okay, so now, ladies, what if this had been a minus 49 over here? Would that be a perfect square then?
Yes.
No.
No, bad.
The 49 number is a perfect square, but
But you
it
can't.
has to be a positive
Oh,
number.
okay.
So you have to have a positive plus sign in front of it.
So the plus
I
signs
get
are like
it.
the squares.
Then you can't
Yeah.
factor it as a PST. Okay,
It
so,
doesn't have to be like
so
49.
Allie, I can answer your question at this point. If this was a minus 49, then it's not a PST. But I'm soon going to give you a Bible, which will enable you to factor a bunch of different polynomials. So there are other ways available for solving factoring a trinomial.
So like
Okay, so even if it's not a PST, it may be factorable under a different method.
but on our homework, like
No, only tonight, it's only, you're looking for PSTs.
So like, well, we won't have that problem. then.
Not tonight,
Okay.
okay?
Nice.
All right, so now ladies, now that we have passed the first hurdle, this being a perfect square, passed the second hurdle, this being a perfect square, we now do the reverse M method. Because remember,
The W method.
did, yeah, W, yes,
Good
good.
idea.
Okay, so guys, you remember that when we started off with a binomial that we wanted to square, we used the M method and we squared both legs and then went on, right? So we want to use the reverse M method. So what do you think I'm going to take on this leg?
The square root.
Yes! Square root. Totally
I'm
awesome.
gonna do that last.
All right? So guys, I
Put
then
a hand in the front again.
write down the square root there, right? And guys, for this plus 49, I then write down the square root there, which is
7.
just 7. All right? So bring down each of these without any sign. But then we go to the middle term here, and we circle its sign and bring that down. Okay, so let's repeat that. The reverse M method is you take the square of the first term, take the square of the last term, no signs, and then you take the sign of the middle term and bring it down. Now, ladies, if this is a PST,
You can check it.
okay, then from this binomial that we've now gotten, okay, we can then say that the factorization of this PST is the square of that binomial. Okay? So we can say, okay, if PST, then factorization equals x plus 7 quantity squared. Right?
Why don't you do anything with the middle term?
What'd you say?
Why don't we do anything with the middle term?
We will. We will in a second. Very good statement, Allie. All right. Now, so you notice what I said. All right. So guys, let's just repeat the words that I just said. Okay. So if we have a trinomial and we want to test it for a PST, we first test the first term to see if it's a perfect square, last term to see if it's a perfect square. Then, if that's the case, then we take the square root of the first leg, x, square root of the second leg, 7, bring down the sign of the middle term. All right. If indeed this is a PST, then the eyes up here, everybody, just everybody facing front and turning to me. So if indeed this is a PST, then the factorization is this binomial that I've just gotten through the reverse M method, this binomial squared. And I write it down there. But, as Allie just asked, we have done no checking to see if the middle term is going to work out for us. All right? So now, we check this by doing the M method on the middle term.
Yeah.
We know that the x will give us the x squared. We know that the plus 7 will give us the plus 49. But now we have to check to see if the cross term times 2 will give us that middle term. So guys, what's the cross term?
7.
Sign.
Plus 7x.
Plus 7x times 2.
Plus 14x. Plus
Does it check?
14x.
Then it is our factorization.